What is going on, everyone? This is Ninja Geek here. Welcome back to another video, and unfortunately it's not really going to be all that positive. Today we're going to be talking about Call of Duty, and for some reason it just so happens to be that every single time I talk about Call of Duty, it's not really in a positive light, and today really is no different. And it's not really going to be about Black Ops 4 because, as many of you know, I'm really done with Black Ops 4. I don't even know what's going on in the world of Black Ops 4. All that I have heard, which is going to tie into what I think about the new Modern Warfare game, but all I've heard from Drifter and from other people talking about Black Ops 4's newest update are talking about how basically the game has gone pay to win, especially in Blackout. I don't really know what they mean by Blackjack Stash or anything like that. I haven't played the game in 5, 6, 7 months, somewhere close to that. I quit playing the game. I don't really have an interest in it. But all I know is that it is pay to win. Somehow people can get an advantage in Blackout if they pay to get certain guns, and if you don't pay, then you don't get access to the guns. So in other words, it's pay to advantage or pay to win or whatever you want to call it. And that's just Activision basically forcing more money down people's throats, basically forcing them to spend more money. And, you know, it's just Activision's way to please the shareholders and everything like that. There's really no other explanation for it. We even know from Kotaku and their article and their sources claiming that Treyarch really has no involvement, in other words, in the microtransaction system in Black Ops 4. And most of them are frustrated with how that's going. They don't really have a huge say. And we also know from the past that apparently, you know, because Black Ops is a more well-known franchise, Activision doesn't really have a problem forcing more microtransactions down and making the system worse, whereas a game such as Infinite Warfare that didn't really do so well, they didn't really have that bad of a microtransaction system. So you would think with Infinity Ward falling short all these years that Modern Warfare would follow suit and go that route, but I'm really not so sure about that. I think that Call of Duty is doomed, and hear me out, let me just explain why here, because I don't know if you know, but a while back, Bungie, who originally was banded with Activision, who made, of course, the Halo series, but more importantly here, the Destiny series, which has Destiny 1 and now Destiny 2, they were originally with Activision under both of those titles, and they broke off from Activision, creating basically their own they're their own studio, but they now run everything. They're not under the control of Activision. And since that has happened, we've heard some great news come from Destiny 2. Now, I never actually played Destiny 2. I was a huge fan of the original Destiny. I played the ever-loving crap out of that, but I never got Destiny 2 because I thought that it was such an expensive way to get into, because you had to buy the game, then they had the pass, and then some things were included, this and that, and it was just a huge money mess, and I didn't even want to be involved in that, because then I thought, okay, well then they're just going to make a Destiny 3 for more money and charge for this pass and this and that, and it's just so much money to get into. But apparently, coming in the next short few months, Destiny 2 is now going to be free to play, the base game, and then you have to, of course, pay for the DLCs, but that's completely fine, because they're going a free to play route. They could update the game, they could, you know, basically get people into the game, and they were only allowed to do that because, of course, they broke ties with Activision. Activision was never going to make Destiny a free to play game. I can tell you that one. I don't even need to be inside of Activision to know that they were never going to make Destiny a free to play game, and here we are months and months later, coming to the decision that Destiny 2 is now going to be a base game of free-to-play. And that's great news for Destiny. And here's my worry with Call of Duty. You know, Call of Duty is basically Activision's main franchise. That's basically what they rely on every single year. So there's no way that these studios are going to be able to break off, because Activision basically owns that. Whereas in another sense with Destiny, Bungie mainly was in charge of that, and Activision, you know, at the end of the day felt that they didn't really have as big of a say, in other words, towards what Bungie was doing and this and that. But with Call of Duty, Activision is really the soul of Call of Duty, and we won't see it go anywhere for years and years to come. But what this means, though, is that the developers, all of them, Sledgehammer, Raven, Treyarch, Infinity Ward, they're all underneath Activision, and they don't really have a say. Because of this, I feel like Modern Warfare is doomed to fail. We've seen this happen with Black Ops 4. You know, it was supposed to be successful, it started out great, and now look at where the microtransaction system has headed. Black Ops 3 had a terrible microtransaction system, and you might say, oh, well, Infinite Warfare didn't have that bad of microtransactions in that game, and, you know, it is Infinity Ward again. Maybe they'll be able to do something good with Modern Warfare, but hear me out. Black Ops 4 was supposed to be, and, you know, the whole Black Ops franchise is one of the most, actually, I think it is the most successful Call of Duty franchise amongst all of them. And now you're taking Modern Warfare, another sub-franchise, which is one of the most popular, and, you know, Activision is just going to see how the game plays out. And, of course, you know, as time goes on, the player count is going to naturally dwindle, not because the game might be bad per se, what like Black Ops 4 is, but just over time and over longevity, you know, people just get tired of playing a game and they move on to something else. So naturally the player count is going to dwindle, and therefore Activision is going to see that. They're going to see the numbers on their end, and they're going to find some way to put in different kinds of microtransactions. Modern Warfare is doomed from this point. I mean, from the point that it was announced, any Call of Duty game nowadays is basically doomed. And the only way that can fix this really is if they get away from Activision. If Infinity Ward and they start developing, you know, a Call of Duty-like game that's not under Activision, if they break off from them, that's the only way that this franchise can really, in other words, be saved, even though it would be a different franchise because they can't use Call of Duty. But Call of Duty itself has been dwindling for years, and it's only going to go downhill, and Modern Warfare for a lot of people is going to be the last strike. If they do anything close to what Black Ops 4 is doing with their microtransaction system, in other words, this franchise can be kissed goodbye. There is nothing else that they can do. And really, ultimately, you know, I haven't even been playing Call of Duty myself. It's not like, oh, I just hate Black Ops 4 because of the, you know, the microtransactions and I don't like the gameplay and I feel like, you know, this and that. And I've already discussed everything about my feelings on it. I haven't even been playing Call of Duty in months. I've mainly been playing other games. I've been trying to do 100% of the achievements on Red Dead 2. I've been playing Apex in other spare times and with my friends and stuff. I've been playing other games, and that's really the point, that, you know, there are other games, a lot of other games to play out there nowadays, and it's just people are just going to move on and find another game if Modern Warfare is littered with microtransactions and just ways that Activision can make money. But here at the end of this video, I'm just going to say that in light of all of this situation that's been happening with Activision for years and years now and will continue to happen in the future, I've obviously been playing other games, and I do have a series that is coming in the works for this channel that's based around other games, and I'm excited to get started and working on that, in other words. So I'm excited that I can share other games on this channel as well, and not just be Call of Duty. And, you know, at the end of the day, I think that Call of Duty is just a doomed franchise. There's really nothing that can save it. Now, of course, I will be playing Modern Warfare and you know, trying to, but as soon as microtransaction and all this comes about, you know, it's really not going to be a fun experience to play, and I'll have to make a decision at that point as to what I'm going to do. But you can let me know your thoughts down below, what you think about this whole situation. Do you think Modern Warfare is going to be a good game regardless of how much money that they want down their throats? Or do you think that the microtransactions are going to absolutely kill Modern Warfare? You can let me know that in the comments section below. And I will see you on the next one. This is Ninja Geek. I'm out. And peace.